In this session, we are going to go through a sample question on string handling using for loop. The question asks you to ask the user to input a string, then ask the user to input a char. Then it should print out the number of occurrence of that char in the string. An example will be if the string is hello world and the char is O, then we should report there are 2 occurrences of O in this sentence. Or if it's L, then it will be 1, 2, 3, 3 occurrence. And if it's E, then it's 1 occurrence. And if I put something like A, since it's not showing up in a sentence, we should get a 0. The way we input a char, we will enter a string. We will still receiving a string from input. There's no char receiving input device. So we will receive a string, but we will get the first char of the string as the char that we will use. So this is another trick that you will learn while you are learning this course. Again, let's go back to programming process. We now have clearly defined what the program is to do, and we have visualized. Let's add some flavor to it. Please enter the string, the sentence. Then please enter the char. And the output will be the char shows up 2 times in the sentence. Of course, you can add more color to it, but so far this is good enough. Okay, so we use the design tool to create a model. Again, first you will have an input, and then you will calculate the occurrence of char, and finally you will do a output of result. So input a sentence, input a char too. And for calculating occurrence, what we are going to do is basically go through the string, the length of string, check each and every occurrence, each char, and compare the char, the current char, with the input char, the matching char. And then if the match, then we will add 1 to the to a counter. So here we first need a counter, and it should be initialized with 0, right? This is another running total issue, and it will be for each occurrence. For each char in the string, which is char at 0 to last char of string. Now, how do we count the last char of string? Of course, we have string.length method, right? But are we going to use char at string length? We will see that in a minute. And output of result, of course, it should be easy. So let's create the class right now. New class, I'll call it sample question, char occurrence. Make sure I don't have typos. And then public static void main string array args. Get the code skeleton as java.comment. And java.comment for main. Now let's copy pseudocode into main method We will input the sentence first. So I will create the keyboard instance and input sentence equals to. It will be a string. Then we will also do a, please enter the string, enter the sentence. Then we will also do a string, no, not string, sorry, char, input char, equals to keyboard the next line, but please enter the char. Now, there's an error. Why is there an error? Because next string is a string. The next line gives us a string, but our receiving variable is a char. So we will do a char at 0, getting its first char. Right, now there's no error. So we're gonna ink counter equals to 0, and let's add proper blank space, a blank line between code blocks. After input, we'll do some for. Now, for each char in the string starting from 0, so we will have a for loop. Exactly how this for loop should be look like, we will calculate the occurrence if current char in string equals to, now this is char, so we can use equals to input char, increment, and this will be if, right? So let's have some indentation here, increment counter. For now, in the for loop, what's that for? We will have int I equals to 0 because it starts at 0, right? And of course, for every char, that means we will have I++. And let's say I less than or equals to string length. Assuming the last char in the string is at the position of string length. Now, if not string, sorry, input sentence dot length. If input sentence dot char at I, that's a current char, right? Equals to input char. Then, and remember, although it's only a counter plus plus, I still recommend you to write a curly brace just in case there are more logic coming, right? And we get the error. Eclipse is, oh, char at, sorry for the typo. But thanks to Eclipse for getting this out. Before Eclipse, it was a hardship to type in your code and find line by line your typos. The char shows up a counter plus space, don't forget space, times in the sentence. All right, any issues? So far it looks good. There is an issue, but we will discover this very soon. So we will run. How about hello world? Please enter the matching char. How about, you can see that the cursor becomes here instead of all the way to the end. And the reason is I make a mistake here. I shouldn't use print. I should use print line. I should use a print line after I enter the string. But let's just say it's O. Now we get the error. Why do we get the error? It says string index out of range. The number 12, string sentence, the input sentence. When we try to do input sentence dot char at 12, we get the error. Where does this char 12 comes from? It's a length of the string. So hello, 5 words, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The string length is 12, right? Now let's look at let me draw some quick pictures so that we can see how chars are calculated inside the string. So our favorite drawing pictures is a picture drawing tool, which is Paint. Hello. It looks, let me try to make hello. And I'm going to use an underscore to represent the space, just so that you can see it clearly. World. So these are 12 characters, right, including this space. Oops. Now, the first one, of course, starts at 0. This is 0. Then this is 1, apparently. This is 2. And 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10, and 11. You can see the last one is 11. But the string length is 12. So this illustrates because string always start, the string index always starts at 0. The length of the string, the last char of the string is at string length minus 1. That's why here we will have an issue. So instead of I less than or equals to string length, we should use a I less than string length. So when we run this loop, the last I will be string length minus 1. As soon as it becomes string length, it will exit the for loop. And this is a pattern that we will see commonly in string and object and array handling. In the future, you will see this again. When you work on a sequence like string or array, which we will cover in the third part of this course, always start with 0 and ends at less than the length of the object. So let's run it now. Now I'm entering hello world again. And I'm going with entering L. And I got 3 times this time.